Firstly, I'm a woman and I'm married, but I'm really curious about this on a psychological level. I was talking to my husband about it, and all I got was that messy buns and white nails were more attractive when he was younger. If you are still a teenager, feel free to still comment, and I can just compare it to other comments. Sorry if this is kind of a weird question. Story 1. When I was young, I was a brainwashed breast man. Hell, whenever you read about a woman back in the 50s, they would put her measurements like this: Jane Doe 38-21-36. That is the truth. As I aged, I became an eye guy. I started looking for peace in a woman's eyes, and lucky for me, I found it. Story 2. I liked heroin-chic skinny girls in high school. I dated athletic girls too, but the skeletons wrapped in skin were my preference. Today, I prefer a woman who can open jars for me and who finds making more than one trip to carry groceries in from the car to be unacceptable. Story 3. Nothing changed. I still like the same type of women that I did before. The only thing that did change is that they also have to fit the mentally stable criteria, but that's not a physical trait. Story 4. As a teenager, big breasts, big butt, dark hair, cute face, all combined with a bad girl, intimidating attitude. Now, wide hips, big thighs, big breasts, curvy, with a motherly or aunt-like warmth and a good sense of humor. Also cuddly. Story 5. Me as a teen. Oh, she looks really pretty, and she is popular. I find her very attractive. Me now. Oh my gosh. She knows how to do her taxes and is up to date on world issues. Story 6. I used to love surgically enhanced breasts for some reason, I'm guessing because they were big but not saggy. I can't stand them now, and I rarely like large breasts at all. I didn't care how much the woman was enjoying sex in adult films when I was a teenager. But now, if she doesn't appear to have some of the best experiences ever, I can't watch it. It's not hard to tell if they're faking it either. It's like my brain needs them to enjoy it, and that's far from a bad thing. Story 7. Teen. Any girl who is fairly slender, has a good-sized chest, and a sweet personality, ignoring flaws. Me now. Any girl who is slightly thick or curvy, has a nice body, is assertive and intelligent, a little bossy but not overbearing, and has a good personality. Story 8. When I was younger, the fashion for young women was all hipster jeans or trousers and wonder bras. The only wonder about those bras for me was I used to wonder where the breasts had gone once I unhooked the bra. Anyway, I digress. That sort of dress with a flat tummy and cute little bottom was my thing. My wife has a more rounded, soft little tummy now, and I prefer that to the taut tummy she had when we first met. She's sort of softened a bit, and I like that. So that, I suppose. Story 9. Physically, I have definitely shifted to preferring less skinny women with more curves. I also have a stronger preference for women who clearly work out and take care of themselves. As far as personality, assertiveness, open-mindedness, a non-judgmental attitude, high libido, spontaneity, curiosity, and adventurousness are all traits that have become more important to me over time. Story 10. I used to like girls who were more edgy with tattoos, colored hair, and daddy issues. For me now, it's more about women who are confident and loyal, with a beautiful smile and kind eyes. Story 11. My standards seem to have gotten higher, and part of me hates it. Attraction to a woman does seem quite rare now. Gone from big women to tall and big. I'm going to be single for a long while. Story 12. Had it ingrained in my head that I wasn't allowed to find anything about a woman's body attractive when I was a young child. Now, any signs that she's aging I find sexy. Story 13. I have to say it that way. As a teenager, big breasts. Now, insanely selective. Now I'm really attracted to smart women. How they act, how kind they are, and especially how they treat animals. Of course, I have to find her looks attractive, but character is much more important now. I know it sounds cheesy, but it is what it is. Edit. If she can sing, that's all I need. Story 14. Teenager being thin was very attractive, having breasts also. A pretty face was a nice bonus but not required. Almost 40 being physically fit is really attractive, more so than just thin, but I am more open-minded on body shapes and sizes. Mostly it is effort that is appealing, trying to dress nicely, accentuate your strengths, and so on. My college friends who took care of themselves still look great. I am in a college town, and the kids look more like kids every year. Story 15. As a teenager, I was all about girls who partied hard and liked getting intoxicated. They were super attractive with tattoos and piercings. Now, I pretty much like the exact opposite. I like introverted individuals with timid demeanors and modesty. I'm not really a fan of tattoos anymore or lots of piercings. Story 16. I can see now that I can be somewhat influenced by media because when I was a teen, it was the Kate Moss waif days, and I did like them thinner than I do now. As it became more popular for women to get fit, I started liking the workout girl look more. My favorite look is a casual CrossFit chick look now, not a masculine competitive one, just someone who does it casually to stay in shape. Story 17. I find that in Ask Men, the entire thread is either thick, thick, thick with big breasts and curves, or it's like super wholesome and states, all women, any woman. The skinny hate is real. The thick hate is real. The fat hate, any amount, is real. Story 18. That's a good question. I feel like my taste in different types of women and body types has increased with age, maybe because, as a grown man, even though I'm 25, I feel like the reason for being so picky was because of how immature I was. Story 19. Not much. I was already 90% demisexual even back then. Sure, only 90% because I was a teen with hormones and whatnot. But still. And I'm still demisexual today. Story 20. I think for most men, their attraction doesn't narrow and change but just expand. There are certain social things that I found attractive but I now find childish. But on a physical level, I still find the same stuff attractive now, but I also appreciate other things as well. Story 21. As a teenager, if a girl showed the slightest bit of attention to me, then promptly ignored me for the rest of her life, I was in love. Now, I just like women who are slightly mean-looking, like they've been through some struggles and are a bit angry at the world. The reason? If I can make her smile, then I feel like that's much more of an accomplishment than making a happy person smile. Story 22. As a middle-aged woman, this thread is good for my mental health. I am glad that many men like fit women with curves versus the teenage girl look. My self-confidence just got a little boost. Thank you, internet strangers. Story 23. Not really much difference except the age and maturity. I still like boobs, still thick, chubby, big beautiful women, still like a cute laugh. Honestly, most comments I see say something to the effect of less importance on physical looks. I am the hard opposite. If anything, my standards have become way more strict. If I'm not 100% wanting to rip her clothes off, then I see zero reason to humor the idea of a relationship. Story 24. Well, I don't know, to be honest. As a teenager, I just fell in love, though most of my ex-girlfriends have blonde hair and big boobs in common, I guess. Though a good number of my crushes look different. Nowadays, I would just prefer someone who is not obese, not severely mentally ill, and emotionally mature. God, I sound so old. Story 25. I'm in my mid-40s. Preferences are similar except for age. I have always preferred women around my age. Physically, I have always preferred skinny or athletic women, appreciating firm over larger body types. I liked the cheerleaders and track athletes in high school. Then they grew older along with me and started wearing office attire and gym clothes. My wife, whom I met in our late 30s, has a body a lot like my biggest crushes in high school. Having said that, there are countless ways women can be attractive to me, and I have absolutely been tremendously attracted to women outside these types throughout my life. Story 26. Depends on the context. If it's a woman to look at and admire as a teenager, I admired skinny brunettes with glasses and long hair. Now, I find most women have attractive features. For a relationship as a teenager, the requirement was to be a female. Now, it's important to be able to have an intellectual conversation, be secure in yourself, and handle your own responsibilities. Looks don't matter. To 53, I'm past caring about looks. We all earn wrinkles and gray hair. I want a woman who is comfortable enough to go gray. Story 27. Teenage. Alternative, scene, gothic girls with wild hair colors and tattoos. Bonus if they like metal and were curvy, thick, or bigger. Adult, almost 40s me. Exactly the same, but also really like curvy women who look like the naughty librarian or have a soccer mom vibe. I call them stepmoms because they're usually stepmothers. Story 28. My taste in women hasn't changed physically over the years. However, it's the type of woman non-physically that has. They have to be kinky and hypersexual. Vanilla hasn't cut it for decades now. Story 29. Teen. Big breasts. Now 32. Small breasts. Teen skinny, now athletic. Teen body priority, now face priority, actually personality, but original poster asked for physical. Teen but now hips. Teen short, now whatever. Story 30. I am 42. I find nerdy and shy moms very attractive. Usually, the ones with self-esteem issues are the most attractive ones. Go figure. Also, I prefer natural. Very little makeup. Maybe just some eyeliner. Definitely no fake Botox lips or enhancements. Those are a real turn-off and very easily noticeable. Story 31. Everyone is saying they got into bigger women when they got older. I just have to look at the data and laugh. Most of you guys just became heavier yourselves, so it makes sense to feel more secure with a bigger woman. Story 32. When I was younger, I was only interested in skinny women, but once I hit 25, something switched, and I find curvy women the most attractive. Mutual build, as the kids call it these days. A little pudge is hot too, in my opinion. Story 33. As a teenager, I was extremely attracted to gymnast-type bodies on women, short and muscular. For some reason, I focused on thick, muscular calves more than anything. Now, as an adult, I just like an unreasonably large backside. Story 34. As a decent-looking guy, I've never lacked attention, but I've always felt like I had to filter for the attention I actually want. My preferences and unconscious arousal have narrowed considerably as I've aged. I feel confused looking back at who I had crushes on, given how unattracted to most of them I am now, and even suspicious that a reason I never wanted to pursue them is that a part of my brain knew it was just a superficial social attraction. Now, at 38, I feel much more prone to assess nuance. A woman's fitness and personal style have become more important to me for how much it says about her lifestyle. Story 35. I had a very strong preference for curvy athletes such as tennis players and gymnasts with strong backs and thick, big thighs. Now, as an adult, I mostly just like women in general who are easy on the eyes and confident. Story 36. I always liked really petite girls, like below 5 feet. I still love short girls, but as I got older, I just started liking them thicker and thicker. I used to date a girl who was 55 inches tall with a 56-inch booty. Sexy little squish ball. Story 37. Good question. I'm pretty sure that in my teens I didn't really analyze why I thought a girl was attractive or pretty. My thinking was face, breasts, buttocks, thighs to put it simply. Some girls did not fit your perceived mold, but you were taken aback anyway and didn't know why. As I got older, I learned to appreciate little details such as features of the face, for example, or the hair. To answer the question, I didn't really think about certain features when I was 17. Now I love it. Story 38. I was 18 around the year 2000, so back then it was all about midriffs, whale tails, and exposed hips. I've seen it pointed out that low-rise pants aren't especially compatible with the larger posteriors of our current era. This makes sense to me. My aesthetic tastes have definitely changed with the times. Now I'm just a boring, basic butt lover, thanking God for the abundance of yoga pants and leggings around me. It astounds me how at one point in popular culture, having a big rear was supposed to be somehow bad. Story 39. When I was a teenager, I really liked low-rise jeans, long straight blonde hair, flat stomachs, and breasts. Very much the preppy or mean girl aesthetic of the 2000s. Now, as a 32-year-old, I really liked professional or mom body types. It's realistic. Story 40. How I thought as a teen. Boom. Hot body. Damn them thighs, brother, those thighs, brother. Lips, eyes, ears, everything is so. Too much, oh God. Falls to knees, praise the Lord, Lord. How I think now. Damn. She looks pretty healthy. I like that. Story 41. My friends used to catch me staring at girls that had thick thighs and round asses. Not like the Brazilian butt lifts we see today all over social media, but more like with nice curves. Back then, thin was in, but they just weren't my style. At some point, my two best friends were teasing me about it, and I just yelled at them, "Hell yeah, I like them thick. If you think they're fat, just send them my way." They died laughing, but apparently them spreading the word made me really popular with certain groups. I'm still attracted to the same features, but I became a lot less particular about race, which also made me strange within my friend groups. The only thing I kind of liked as a teenager that I don't like now are fake anythings. Lashes, nails, massive amounts of makeup. Quit hiding. Be you. Story 42. As a teenager and in my 20s, I liked the bad boy, long-haired, rocker look. Anything punk rock, grunge rock, emo rock, old school 70s and 80s rock. If you looked like a dude that was from that scene, I was all for it. Now I just want intelligence, thoughtfulness, someone into radical politics, and also kind. Very hard to find. Story 43. What did you find physically attractive in women as a teenager versus now? My tastes haven't really changed, to be honest. As a teenager, I liked thick with curves in all the right places. Now, 20 years later, I still like thick with curves in all the right places. I guess the only thing that's changed is the libido isn't what it used to be. Back then, I could engage in the activity multiple times a day, and each climax was intense. Story 44. As a teenager, now that I'm older and more experienced, I have traveled around the world. I have had a number of relationships with a range of wonderful women. I've worked my way up the corporate ladder to a good, stable position, got married, got my own house, and have a few kids too. With all these points of growth as a man, and all these milestones I have achieved, the real thing I have honestly grown to understand about myself and women is that I still love breasts. Story 45, mostly age. As a 32-year-old dude, I really like women my age. I don't get the fascination with young, barely adult girls. They really do look like kids. Sure, they're legally adults, but it's like an underdone pizza. Most women don't come into their prime until their late 20s.